Mata Vaishno Devi University in 2016. She pursued her PhD degree in Electronics and Communication Engineering at Sri Mata Vaishno Devi University, Jammu and Kashmir, India. Her research interest includes the emerging technologies of 5G wireless communication network. Currently, she is pursuing her postdoctoral research at Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, as a research associate. She has received a teaching assistantship from MHRD from 2014 to 2016. She is a member of IEEE. Now, I am requesting to you, ma'am. Ma'am, please share your expertise with us.
Thank you so much, team, for giving me this opportunity today. Good afternoon, everyone. So I'll share my screen. Please let me know when you can see that. Kindly confirm when everyone is able to see the presentation.
Yes, Dr. Baby, we can see it. Network slicing and IoT. Right.
Yeah. So the topic for the presentation today is network slicing and Internet of Things, improving scalability, reliability, and security. As ma'am has already introduced, I am working under the supervision of Professor Brijesh Lal. This is just an overview of the contents that we would be covering, quickly reviewing our basics for 5G, WSNs, and IoT, and the challenges being faced, and finally heading towards slicing in IoT and some secrecy aspects. Now, it is a well-known fact that there has been a tremendous growth in wireless mobile communication traffic in terms of subscribers and traffic. So due to which there has been a generation shift towards the 5G wireless communication networks. As 5G networks these days are being deployed, standardized, and made accessible to the users, it has to keep up the requirements that it has promised. So 5G networks need to be able to cope with the unprecedented growth of the mobile data traffic and the huge volumes of data that are generating from the smart devices as part of the IoT networks. 5G technology vision foresees a 1,000-fold gain in area capacity up to or even more than 10 Gbps peak data rates and connections of at least 100 billion devices, which is very huge. Key challenge of 5G wireless access and core network architectures is to make it possible to address novel machine-centric use cases that are currently not addressed by the cellular network architectures. So there are to be introduced considerable architectural improvements. Further, potential 5G applications range from industry, robots, drones, VR, AR, healthcare, traffic monitoring, smart grids, green communication, etc. So 5G will be highly integrative, supporting a massive connectivity along with the ultra-low latencies and high bandwidths, which would be categorizing its requirements into three major requirements, which are URLLC, ultra-reliable low-latency communication, enhanced mobile broadband, EMBB, and massive machine-type communication, MMTC. 5G builds upon virtualization and softwareization, offering flexibility. Another important aspect being addressed with the 5G vision is decentralization of the cell-centric architecture to device-centric one, and exploiting intelligence as device side has been identified as one of the major aspects being addressed in 5G. So looking towards the 5G requirements, IoT networks generally fall mostly into the MMTC category, but we cannot say that they are strictly confining to this category of applications of 5G, as we shall see as we go forward. Just a quick brushing up of the wireless sensor networks. The recent advances in wireless communication and ubiquitous computing technology have enabled people to connect to the internet anytime from anywhere. So this makes possible to connect anytime, anywhere, the things and objects as well via IoT. This is possible by embedding mobile transceiver into the everyday things. This is where a deployment of wireless sensor networks has come into picture and has been into existence for quite some time. A WSN consists of large number of stationary or mobile sensor nodes which are self-organizing to support multi-hop communication and primarily being used for sensoring and monitoring purposes. So in this figure here, we have shown a generic wireless sensor network which is sensing and monitoring an event E, collecting the data from all the sensors and sending it to the base station, and the base station then sends it to an application server via the internet. IoT devices and things monitor certain events with the sensors, and the captured events are relayed through wired or wireless networks to servers or users. And here is where they are extracted and processed. Information is processed for further control and instruction to the other machines in an entire network. There are numerous architectures currently available in literature for connecting such devices, and various standardization bodies have also been working in this field for classifying the use cases as MMTC, EMBB, or URLLC, each category having their own specific set of requirements and KPIs which we need to adhere to as per the standard set. The network components are embedded with intelligence features for 5G and beyond networks. Mostly this intelligence feature is incorporated as part of a multi-access edge computing, which is another key technology of 5G wireless communication networks. There are certain challenges or limitations in wireless sensor networks due to which there has been a continuous evolution in the technologies. First and foremost is the limited battery power of the sensors. Then limited communication range can even is associated in some way or the other to the battery, because then multi-hop communication, if the battery dies out for a sensor, then that information would not be transferred to the base station. There is quite a considerable amount of overhead involved when obtaining the topology within a wireless sensor network. While the discovery mechanism is ongoing by the sensors, this again is associated with the battery power of the individual devices. Communication interference is another problem. When several devices are sending their information, they may interfere with each other, resulting in loss of information. Wireless channels are highly error prone. So there is a possibility of packet transmission error reoccurring and even link disconnections. Security breaches are a major area which need redressal of the research community when we talk of challenges being faced in wireless sensor networks. As a result of these challenges, the wireless sensor networks are heading towards software-defined wireless sensor networks. In these, the traditional sensor nodes are replaced with software-defined sensor networks capable of automating the monitoring process of network failure and reconfiguring their functionalities dynamically based on real-time sensing. These software-defined WSNs, these also facilitate programmable control in a virtual environment and of the networking resources by decoupling data and control plane. So there is an evolution towards softwareization in WSNs, which is an important component of the 5G wireless communication networks. As a basis of softwareization and virtualization, we have two key technologies. The first one is SDN, software-defined networking, and the other one is network function virtualization, NFV. Starting with SDN, it separates the forwarding and control plane in communication networks. The controller here configures the forwarding tables of the forwarding nodes. A three-level architecture has been defined by the Open Network Foundation for the SDNs. It is depicted here, where we have three layers: application layer, control layer, and the infrastructure layer. At the infrastructure layer, we have the forwarding nodes like switches, routers, and access points. Above the infrastructure layer, we have the control layer, which has the controller controlling the data paths through a southbound interface, whose traffic is usually carried over a secured connection via this transport level security, or TLS. The controllers compute the suitable forwarding behavior of all the data paths. Then at the top, we have the application layer, which comprises of a set of network applications that are input to the controllers for installing appropriate rules on the data paths. The application plane communicates with the control plane over a northbound interface, but it often consists of subroutines within a controller. This is the architecture defined by ONF. Now, based on this architecture, we have the architecture for software-defined wireless sensor networks. It again is a three-layer architecture, again comprising of infrastructure, control, and application layer. Infrastructure layer consists of the sensors, which are used for sensing and forwarding data. Towards the control layer, we have the controller, which controls the entire network. Computation, forwarding flow tables, which includes acquiring the node information, calculating and sending control information, defining flow table, and handling general issue related to network control and management. All these are the tasks performed by the control layer, consisting of the SDN controller. Application layer on the top, this involves various applications, just as in case of the SDN. Some important features are listed here for SDWSN. Main characteristic is supporting regional unified control, dynamic network information acquisition, and virtualization network function, solving the problem of load balancing for wireless sensor networks. So the virtualization mechanisms, being an integral part of 5G, they can improve the data flow reliability and balancing flexibility. Google data centers across the globe have proven to be using SDN for improved load balancing performance. Advantage of using SDN centralized control is the capability to control the network access rules to improve network security. SDN technology and OpenFlow protocol, they can both separate the control of network management from data transmission. Generally, this OpenFlow protocol is used as a southbound interface in the SDN networks. So SDN and OpenFlow allow the virtualization of equipment control level and processes, network routing protocol within the control layer. Heading towards our second key technology, which is the network function virtualization. The NFV proposes virtualization of the network functions, as is well known that under the 5G architecture, there are several network functions available in the core. So virtualization of these on top of the hardware is termed as network function virtualization. The network functions, when realized in software, they are called as virtual network functions. Here, the focus is on management and orchestration of virtualized resources. Primarily, the NFV architecture has been introduced by ETSI as a standard. It specifies the virtualization requirements and what all requirements possibly would be required, while we even talk in terms of slices, as we shall see, are part of the ETSI sheets being put up. The ETSI NFV system uses services of SDN to provide a programmable platform for establishing links between virtual network functions and for dynamic management of spectrum, slices, etc. To maintain and run use cases over the 5G slices, SDN and NFV technologies are widely considered as the key enablers in network architecture, design, operation, and management. So this was the reason we needed to have a bit of a background of these two prior to heading forward. Now, under the IoT and wireless sensor networks, setting up of an IoT network involves integration of WSN to the cloud through the internet. One of the main challenges while integrating is ensuring reliable traffic flow between both the networks to offer an end-to-end quality of service and quality of experience. Now, the applications of wireless sensor networks is very vast, which can be hazard monitoring, healthcare applications, intruder detection systems. So occurrence of an event can result in a sudden burst of traffic. Here is where reliability plays a very important role, specifically when we talk of the 5th generation networks and beyond. High reliability, high availability, ultra low latency, and agility. These are some performance requirements that need to be strictly adhered to in these network setups. Otherwise, the entire concept of 5G would be of no use. So wireless sensor networks with IoT face challenges for the real-time applications in 5G and beyond, like the real-time use cases, ultra-low latencies, high reliability, scalability, and availability. And over the period of time, the mobile internet has already evolved, beginning from the mobile internet, where our reliability and latency requirements were not very stringent. But in IoT, still reliability, secrecy, latency are a key issue. But moving forward, if we talk of the latest releases or latest standardization processes of 5G, and even if we talk of beyond 5G networks, we have tactile internet coming into picture. So here the requirements become very stringent. So we need to take these into account very seriously. Potential solutions to these challenges being faced in the current network architecture can be provided via 5G technologies. 5G has offered several technologies till date. Some three main I have identified and listed here, but the scope is not limited. The scope of work is never limited. So one is the network must be able to deliver high priority packets, which can be assured via network slicing, which we would be discussing in detail now. Then next can be prediction of lost packets for improved network performance. This is possible via AI/ML technology. And edge intelligence incorporation is gaining momentum nowadays in the research field. Evolving towards 5G IoT. 5G coupled with IoT can provide
We are not able to see your PPT, ma'am.
Oh, hold. I hope it's visible now.
Yes.
Okay. Evolving towards the 5G IoT, 5G coupled with IoT can provide innovative solutions for a wide range of use cases. Deployment of IoT use cases can be coped with virtualized, softwareized, and the multi-tenant infrastructures being supported by 5G wireless communication networks, and they even support a very high performance. Key enabling technology for achieving these goals is network slicing, in which 5G multi-tenant networks tend to create logical virtualized networks for delivering their customized solutions while meeting the diverse QoS requirements. So URLLC, EMBB, and MMTC, all these classes. If I start with EMBB, EMBB is characterized by large payloads, moderate reliability, and high data rate transmitted. While in MMTC, the criteria is extensive number of devices being connected to the same cell while involving a small payload. And URLLC supports traffic that demand very high reliability and very low latency. That is why we have ultra low latency terminology being used. So managing the IoT slices and under this heterogeneous environment dynamically is very important. 5G offers our IoT applications some key benefits to be leveraged. These include low latency, as I stated under the URLC category, more bandwidth or extensively high bandwidth being supported for EMBB applications, and in the long term, denser network coverage for indoors as well as outdoors. This would be a part of the ultra dense networks in the 5G. A key advantage of 5G is network slicing, which possesses the ability of the mobile network operators to slice their physical networks into portions that can be assigned to individual companies or ecosystems for their dedicated use. So as per the requirement of the users, the MNOs can allocate an end-to-end slice. End-to-end means that when a slice is allocated, a part of RAN, core, transport up to the internet, it is provided to the users in a virtualized manner. The virtualized resources are obtained via mapping from the physical resources which are actually available on the network. So the entire system is network based on virtualization and softwareization here when you talk of network slices. Parties whose traffic is contained in a slice, they can obtain the service quality and reliability guarantees. This is the whole notion of putting network slicing into use. The ability to isolate traffic in a slice also translates to enhanced security. So slicing the networks is essential in terms of ensuring or maintaining high security levels in the networks as well. This figure, sorry. This figure shows a network slicing scenario. We have three applications here, IoT applications: an autonomous vehicle slice, This is a smart health slice and an industrial automation slice, or we can say for the industry 4.0 maybe. So we have an MEC server here. So the thing to be looked upon here is that this application, the autonomous vehicle slice, would be for monitoring the vehicle movement in order to avoid any accidents. So this is a high priority application. Looking into this application, we can say that an MEC server would be required here so as to ensure the ultra low latencies, so that latency of less than 1 millisecond must be promised in such an application, so that the possibility of occurrence of any accident can be minimized. Smart health slice, the smart health application can be categorized into our massive machine type communication, where reliability and latencies are not very stringent as of now. But yes, when we talk of this is just for the purpose of monitoring, but if we talk of some robotic telesurgery or tele healthcare, here again we will have to take into account URLLC category of application. And industrial automation slice, here again we can have this can be categorized if it is a high reliability demanding application, can be categorized into URLLC. Otherwise it can be a part of the EMBB, or these applications can even exist in terms of hybrid of these categories of 5G applications. Further, slicing becomes important due to rising virtualization of the system, as we have seen. Slice creation involves creation of slices in the RAN, transport network, or mobile core. That is why we term slicing to be an end-to-end process. Though if mobile operators are looking into guarantee the quality and latency of a certain type of traffic, like the IoT applications. A network slice would begin at the customer premises equipment, which could be an IoT device, and then become a dedicated channel over the mobile air interface. So it continues as a slice of the transport network all the way to the core. Service provider can deploy several network slices across its core and RAN dedicated to different traffic types. So there would be distinct slices for the different traffic types, thereby meeting their distinct requirements as well. Some providers with large number of customers in specific industry verticals would create slices for each vertical to isolate the mission critical traffic of other verticals as well. Now we have end-to-end slicing. So there is RAN and core slicing. Multiple type of UEs can be connected through the air interface or fixed line interface. So RAN is sliced according to different requirements of the tenants for the distinct applications. Radio resource management, slice specific admission control policies, configuration rules for control and user plane functions, UE awareness on the RAN configuration for the different service types. These are all the key design aspects taken into consideration while slicing the RAN. Separation of RAN resources, this can be achieved via frequency, time, code, hardware equipment, software, and other dimensions. Next, we have core slicing, where core network related functionalities related to a particular application will be provided via a core slice. So the network resources at the core, they can be sliced over servers, virtual machines, containers, or hardware elements. There is a logical separation between control and user plane functions and corresponding implemented virtual network functions that is achieved via NFV technology, as we've discussed during designing of the core network slices. Generally, as of now, literature states that slicing the core is comparatively less complex than RAN slicing. Different applications having distinct requirements take into consideration their specific requirements while slicing and provisioning the quality of service and quality of experiences. This figure here shows a 5G IoT network sliced infrastructure, where we have a smart city, smart agriculture, and industrial IoT use case coexisting. The entire infrastructure is divided into 4 major segments. Following a bottom-up approach, we have the radio access network segment at the bottom, followed by mobile edge computing segment on top of it. Then we have the core network segment, And finally, the domain segment. Now, coming to the RAN segment, RAN segment is used for connecting the individual devices through the 5G network. MEC segment. MEC here is multi-access edge computing. So this essentially is involved in enhancing the user experience when accessing the common services so that we can assure ultra low latencies for high priority or critical applications. Core segment. Core segment here is used for enhanced service capabilities, scalability, agility, and the network functions present inside the core network. Inter-domain segment on the top of this infrastructure is used to reach the internet and other domains managed by the different organizations. Different verticals are existent in the infrastructure depicted here, and all these verticals are coexisting. SDN and NFV tend to support effective functioning of the slices for the separate verticals while meeting their key requirements as well. Further to the infrastructure, the 5G IoT slice management has also been illustrated here in this figure. Again, here we have 4 distinct domains, namely the infrastructure domain comprising of the physical and virtual areas, then the control and management domain, which comprises of sensing, controller, and orchestrator, the virtual network function manager, and VIM. Then adaptive slice and orchestration domain consists of these 4 components: analyzer, policy planner, monitoring, and orchestrator here. And finally, the admin plane. Starting them in a bit depth, beginning with the infrastructure domain, which was at the base, we have the physical and virtual areas. Physical area contains the physical hardware like the compute, storage, etc., which are to be shared among the different tenants while slicing a network. And virtual area, as the name suggests, is comprised of the virtual components, and these are created by the hypervisor on top of the physical resources in the physical area. Control and management domain here comprises of first component in sensing, which is acting as a common point for managing all the sensors when we talk for IoT network. The SDN controller is the central controller, the strategic control point, controlling the flow and programming networking devices. The VNF orchestrator, which is in charge of the virtual network function deployment. All these VNFs are controlled, managed, and monitored by the VNF manager. And last but not the least, we have the virtual infrastructure manager, VIM, which controls the virtual resources and life cycle of virtual hardware resources. And it also tends to keep a catalog and inventory of existing virtual machines within the system. Next segment, we have this adaptive slice and orchestration domain. Monitoring here, the monitoring section monitors the metrics provided by the sensing modules. Then next we have the analyzer, which allows definition of rules used to monitor current status of the infrastructure. Rules generate alerts for events requiring attention, which are generated via the analyzer. Policy planner here is for defining the slice templates so as to define the amount of resources that must be provided. Orchestrator receives the plan and orchestrates its execution here in the adaptive slice and orchestration domain. On the top, we have the admin domain consisting of the slice policy editor. The vertical service administrators define their tailored configurations for creation, modification, or removal of slices. So creation, modification, and removal, this is the entire lifetime of a slice. Further, apart from ensuring quality of service and experience for the distinct requirements of the 5G application areas, namely the eMBB, URLC, and MMTC, the 5G IoT network, along with network slicing, are an essential base for securing these networks. High security and privacy for sensitive IoT applications like healthcare, this can be achieved via slice isolation. So keeping the slices isolated from each other in a specific or amongst the several applications where we have separate slices for the separate applications, we can ensure a high secrecy and privacy. Since IoT devices are generally resource constrained, so they are highly vulnerable to attacks as well, attacks and spoofing. Rapid growth in the number of IoT devices and the pervasiveness. These are also attracting numerous attacks in the IoT ecosystem. So severity of these attacks can be minimized via isolation of the IoT applications using network slicing. Another key parameter that comes into picture is the dynamic allocation of idle resources to the victimized network slice. This would keep the service ongoing without any degradation during an attack within a sliced network. So these are potential secrecy challenges and kind of solutions that can be taken into consideration in these networks. This figure shows how sensor network, it tends to establish a secure and trustable connection to the internet or the cloud. So this picture has been taken from SCOT, which is Secure Connected Trustable Things. This is a pan-European effort which is providing cost-effective solutions for wireless end-to-end secure, trustworthy connectivity and interoperability. So similar to these, we have several other agencies working in this field, but still ensuring secrecy remains an open challenge in the slicing and the sliced networks. Summarizing the role of network slicing in IoT, as has been already seen that network slicing helps us provide an improved level of scalability by meeting the requirements of the different classes of applications or the categories of 5G applications. Then we have better dynamicity in terms of flexibility in the resources being available, dynamic allocation of slices as and when an operator or a subscriber requires a slice, an operator can provide it, and whenever the slice is free, it can be ended up, its life cycle ends up with the operator. Then along with this, we have improved security and privacy also ensured via slicing. As we saw in the previous slide itself, we can ensure improved security, privacy, and with improved quality of service as well while slicing our networks. Better end-to-end orchestration can be achieved by slicing our networks or by providing virtual instances or sliced instances of our network to the resources. The end-to-end orchestrator is responsible for provision, management, and optimization of resources for the specific network services. And clearly, amongst all these, the best advantage being offered is the better resource allocation and prioritization. In terms of resource allocation, when we talk of a network slice being allocated for any specific application, resource allocation plays a very important role in the terms that while allocating a slice, a mobile operator has to ensure an optimum resource availability from the RAN resources, from the core resources at the transport layer and to the internet. So resources are allocated within limits. If the resources are beyond what is required for that specific application, that would not result in a good quality of experience and quality of service by the MNO. And if the resources being allocated are less than what is expected out of the specific application, that would be an underutilized slice. That again is a failure in the entire network setup and would not be advantageous for the users. Prioritization is important, and slicing, implementing network slicing in our IoT networks tends to helps in achieving prioritization in the way that some critical applications, these have a higher priority. So as soon as the slices are available or the optimum resources are available for the slicing, the application with a high priority is allocated a slice first, For example, if we consider the case of a telesurgery, in telesurgery, if we consider a specific slice has to be allocated for that specific surgery, and the resources being allocated should be optimum in the sense that it should not have a latency beyond 1 millisecond, or less than 1 millisecond is the latency. So clearly this falls into the category of URLLC category of application. This is a high priority application, and the prioritization is ensured by the MNO via providing the slice to such an application. However, at the same time, if we consider a smart agriculture application, that can be considered as a low priority application, because we do not adhere to such latency requirements or bandwidth requirements at that specific time when the slices ensure to this. So this is how prioritization works when we talk of the 5G IoT network sliced systems. Until now, we have looked into the various benefits being offered via slicing the IoT networks. However, there are certain set of challenges as well which exist. First and foremost is scalability. Now, scalability is a requirement that is looked forward by the 5G networks. With the rising number of applications, obviously there would be a corresponding rise in the slice count. This will require a higher slice orchestration request as well. So in order to ensure scalability, that is supporting enormous number of slices for the extreme number of applications, still further investigation is required so that we have optimal resources available for the enormous applications being asked for by the subscribers. Next is recursion. The ability to create larger functional blocks by aggregating multiple number of smaller functional blocks is defined as recursion here. Applying the recursion property in network slicing means that we are intending towards creating new network slicing using the existing slices. In other terms, the network slicing recursion can be defined as methods for network slice segmentation, allowing a slicing hierarchy with parent-child relationships. This would be a very simple terms. So we need to look forward to how new network slices can be created from existing slices, if at all we have the slices not being put to use at the current in the current moment. Next, security and privacy. Although considerable literature has been observed that the security and privacy has been refined and enhanced via slicing our IoT networks in comparison to those that are not sliced or that those are not softwareized or virtualized, yet security privacy needs is always would remain a concern, because these spoofers tend to spoof the nodes or the entire network in some or the other way. So we need to have some very concrete solutions for our security and privacy of the sliced networks. The end-to-end management and orchestration has to be investigated further so that the slice is able to meet the QoS requirements for the entire duration for which it is being made available to the subscriber for its specific application. Coming towards RAN slicing, as it is, literature says that slicing the RAN is slightly bit more complex in comparison to core, and the limited RAN resources further cause difficulty when we have the enormously rising number of subscribers and their rising application demands. So the extensive data that has to be moved, the traffic that has to be transferred, it has to be looked upon further while choosing smart slicing techniques. Further, mobility management and roaming scenarios need to be further investigated. These expect the same serving slice to be existent with different operators. Now, the IoT devices in such a scenario should be able to cross these boundaries without experiencing any disturbances in the communication. Again, during mobility management and the roaming scenarios, security and efficient slice information transmission between MNOs is required so that we can have a suitable and successful slice management and slice allocation during a mobility high mobility scenario, and while the users are under a roaming scenario. Apart from slicing, I previously stated that predicting events in IoT networks is another solution which can help us pave way for better IoT networks when we talk of the IoT networks in 5G and beyond 5G networks. So, as is well known and already has been stated that battery energy efficiency, these are the major concerns for wireless sensor networks. So, once the battery of a sensor network is drained, only replacing it is an option. So, using the residual energy of the sensor nodes as efficiently and as smartly as possible is the key. Then, once data is lost over transmission, it can be either from the sensor to the cluster head or cluster to the sink. Retransmission is one option, but again, that is directly connected to the battery. It would result in unnecessary usage of the battery. So wireless sensor networks, since these can be deployed in or at harsh environment and the resources are scarce, unexpected problems like faulty node or energy depletion can result in malfunctioning of the entire network. So here is where prediction becomes essential and useful. ML AI schemes are being put to use for help in analyzing the data to create automatic predictive models. The ML algorithms, these hold a great promise for faster, effective, and more accurate large-scale analysis. Popular ML algorithms are K-nearest neighbor method, KNN, the multiple linear regression method, and artificial neural networks, ANN, multi-layer perceptron, random forest transform, and these are just a few of these algorithms. So there are a set of applications I have identified and listed here which are useful for the predictive analysis. First and foremost, e-agriculture. Since India being an agriculture country, more and more the schemes are being put up for smart agriculture so that we have better cultivation opportunities, employment opportunities for the farmers. So occurrence of pests is a major problem. Weed removal is another problem. So using our in the IoT networks being set up in a smart agriculture, using AI ML techniques, we can predict the occurrence of pest. Maybe it can be via certain factors by observing the images of the crops over a period of time, or maybe the weather conditions, or what all possible factors remain in the occurrence of pest. And in the coming time, in some coming time, the farmers or the researchers, we can predict the occurrence of pest for that specific field and alert the farmers that so that they can avoid the occurrence in timely, and the cultivation would not be affected. Then breeding in the crops. Similarly, we can predict the variety of the seeds, which all seed variety would give us good cultivation and which not in a specific area. Classifying the weeds so that they are of minimum harm to the crop. Next application is data secrecy. As already stated, although secrecy of data can be assured via slice isolation, but simply isolating the slices within the IoT networks for the distinct applications is not sufficient. So prediction can actually enhance secrecy. We can predict the reoccurrence of the spoofed packets so that some of the spoofing attacks can be avoided. Now, instead of continuously generating data from the sensor nodes to the base station, we can apply some suitable training mechanisms, which can then be used for predicting the next data in the next instance, some instances that would be sent out. So this would actually avoid a transmission of the data from the battery, because we would have been able to already predict the same data, and this will help in indirectly extending the battery lifetime of the sensor nodes. Then routing schemes are enormously being studied in these wireless sensor networks and the IoT networks. So predicting the routing schemes using some kind of prediction or learning technologies in the routing, we can again impact the battery lifetime of the sensors in a positive manner. Coming towards the conclusion, As already stated, the 5G networks are to provide highly scalable and effective platform for the wireless sensor networks and the IoT setup. There are specific requirements of the use cases to be effectively met via the 5G technologies. Primarily, the use cases are categorized as EMBB, MMTC, and URLLC. We have our IoT networks being a major component of the MMTC application, but they are not limited to this class of application of 5G. So, in general, we have all the three categories falling into the IoT networks. The discussion today primarily was focused on network slicing. The key technologies behind the network slicing being the SDN and NFV. Now, network slicing in 5G IoT networks is enabling the capability to manage thousands of heterogeneous slices for different use cases concurrently. There is a considerable amount of literature available where we have network slicing techniques being studied for smart agriculture, smart grids, and industry 4.0 applications. I did not go in detail for the use cases, but of course, if somebody wants to pursue research further, they can opt for specific applications or go in for general IoT as well, 5G IoT network slice networks as well. There are several organizations which include ETSI, NFV, ONF, ETSI, MEC, NGMN, 3GPP, IEEE, Broadband Forum, MEF, etc. These are all working on standardizing the architectural frameworks and interfaces for combining the multitude of components into a functional system that can be implemented within the provider or operator systems based on a variety of business model and use cases. I would like to mention here that 3GPP release 17 recently has identified these use cases, and their requirements have been listed in release 17 under the service requirements. This can be investigated. Then what all categories appropriately fit in for the IoT, they have been all listed in NGMN white papers. ETSI MEC focuses on URLLC use cases, and this can be further investigated. ETSI NFV studies the network function virtualization, the formation of virtualized functions for our slice networks, and what all requirements, potential requirements, all these are studied by ETSI NFV. ONF studies the various aspects of implementation of software-defined networks. And there are different IEEE working groups which are working in this direction along with the Broadband Forum and MEF. Apart from these organizations, several components are being developed under the umbrella of open source projects. To name a few, we have OpenStack, OP, NFV, OSM, ONAP, ODL, ONOS, etc. These are expected to complement, if not replace, the commercial vendor products very soon. These open source projects listed here and relevant standardization bodies, they are also mutually influencing each other towards the development of their respective goals and validating and progressing their respective work. Future scope, in the future scope, it would be appropriate to state that predictive analysis has gained quite some momentum in the previous years, and the inclusion of learning mechanisms, AI ML techniques for predicting the events in the next moment, for optimizing the battery lifetime, extending the battery lifetime of the WSNs, enhancing their reliability, making them more scalable, are an open area. Then energy efficiency further can be enhanced by using HAPS system with WSNs. So the drone technology is gaining quite interest from the research community nowadays, and this also eventually would be improving the energy efficiency, reliability, as well as secrecy in the networks. Then multi-access edge computing, as we've already seen, it will be supporting the ultra low latency application categories very well. And the scope is not just URLC applications alone. Even if you consider hybrid class of applications like a URLC plus CMVB kind of an application, or URLC plus MMTC. So MEC is going to be a key technology in such scenarios. Then we can further look for better connectivity in rural or unconnected areas. Again, when we talk of these areas, HTTPS would be or NTN networks. These will be a solid base for such networks. As already stated, mobile internet has evolved towards IoT, and currently we are heading towards the tactile era. So the road towards the tactile internet opens up a platform for a plethora of applications aiming at reshaping life and economy. So soon we will be having our telesurgery applications, telecommunication, AR, VR applications, all being part of this. And there are specific work groups primarily focused on this application. So providing sliced networks within within the IoT network with high reliability, including human to human and machine to machine communications, promising high levels of security, high reliability, which would reliability of more than 99.99% are being targeted by the standardization bodies in the current standards, and ultra low latencies, which would be 1 millisecond or even less. These are the pathways we need to further research upon in order to meet the objective of the different classes of applications for the 5G IoT wireless communication networks. Thank you.
Okay, participants, you can ask questions from ma'am. Any questions, please? I think there is no question, Dr. Pammi.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes, Kanksha, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
We
Ma'am.
can conclude the session.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to thank Pimmi ma'am, who honored this FDP and enlightening all of us